Blake Lively's mother, Elaine Lively, was on the clock last night. You'd have thought she was the #1 draft pick, the way Blake Lively called her up and drafted her right into her concocted bullshit of a story. Well, you didn't hear it from me, even though this is recorded. Let's get into it, shall we?
F around and find out. F around and find out. F around and find out. F around and find out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of F Around and Find Out. I miss you guys so badly. I feel like I was going crazy. I was like talking to myself at home. If you went to bed early last night or you didn't get a chance to hear the speech Blake Lively gave, well, I can't wait to enlighten you because you're not even going to believe it. But then again, you will, because we're at the stage now where everything is unbelievably believable. So you're just going to roll with it, right? As you can see right here, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds cut themselves showing up to the Time 100 magazine gala because they truly believe we want to see them. They truly believe they're above criticism. They truly believe we want to see them. They 100% believe they're the shit. So they got glammed. They got their outfits and they brought a draft prospect. Yes, Blake Lively's mother, Elaine, whose last name apparently is not Lively, but they drafted her, and boy, did they use her the right way. Let's get into that. So if you're just waking up, you've probably seen the 1.5 minute video of Blake Lively giving her speech about her mom's story on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, platform. But I have the full video. We're going to listen to the 2-minute people, story. It's like the short version. But the longer version is even more wild when you look at the part people chose to post and made a movie where your mother was not on one red carpet with you. Okay, go off. She says she wants me to share with you that she's a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman. If you're just listening to that, what do you think she's about to say? Without ever seeing this video or knowing what she actually does talk about, or without reading the caption. If she says the worst crime somebody can commit towards a woman, I immediately thought she's trying to tell us her mom went through SA, or a graping situation, right? No. Either she forgot how to tell the story, or she's just not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Because what do you mean the worst crime somebody can commit against a woman? I think that's just the worst crime somebody can commit against a human, period. Because the story ends up being she claims her mom's coworker tried to delete her mom. That's just any human doing that to another human is all bad. But what do you mean against a woman? Carry on.
But what does influence mean? By definition, it's the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. To have an effect. That's not only an honor, it's a significant responsibility. How we use that matters. Who and what we stand up for and what we stay silent about.
Really?
What we monetize versus what we actually live matters. I have so much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum. What I will speak to separately is the feeling of being a woman who has a voice today. And since I could speak, because of the pain, caution, and fight of the many women who have paved the way and the men who stood beside them. Millions I will never know the name of, because every life, every act, big or small, affects another. Before I say more, I want to warn that I will speak about tonight covers trauma, so please feel free to step away if you need. My life was influenced most by my mother, sitting here tonight, Willie Elaine McAlpin. She's an eternal optimist, and she's always leaving me messages, hooping and hollering.
It said, when I heard this the very first time, and she said, the worst crime somebody can commit against a woman, I thought she was about to say her mother was essayed raped one of those. But then the story turns out to be somebody tried to unalive her mother. That is just the worst crime anybody can try to commit against a human, man, woman, child, whatever, period. But to slide it in there and say against a woman, it's almost like you are laying the foundation to kind of be about you, like against a woman. See, I told you I've been a sage. Now my mom is also a survivor. Where was the survivor story of your mom's almost unalivement when you were making a movie about that? Get into it.
She'll get your number tonight. She'll leave you those messages, so please be warned. But at her urging and her unwavering bravery, she wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman. I've watched her conceal her raw and undeserved shame my entire life. So as her daughter, being asked to share this today is monumental. If we name it, we change it. Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellicot, put it to every woman who understood, it's not for us to have shame, it's for them. My mom never got justice from her work acquaintance who attempted to take her life when she was the mother of 3 young kids years before I was born. She has always credited her beating heart today with a story she heard from another woman in a similar circumstance, speaking on the radio as my mom drove home one day, entirely unaware of the future ahead in which she would call upon this critical moment to save her own life. The woman painfully and graphically shared how she escaped. And because of hearing that woman speak to her experience instead of shutting down in fear and unfair shame, my mom is alive today. She was saved by a woman whose name she'll never know. I am alive and standing here with you all today, being honored because of a woman whose name I'll never know. I am here and my mom is here because that woman not only survived, but she told others how. It's a silent torch of womanhood that we come to know. A pact that privately we must show others how to survive, literally or spiritually. We don't let our daughters know, but one day we break our hearts and letting them know the secret that we kept from them danced around fudge. That they are not and will likely never be safe. At work, at home, in a parking lot, in a medical office, online, in any space they inhabit, physically, emotionally, professionally. But why does that torch have to be our burden to carry in private? How can we not all agree on that basic human right? I know the superpower of female triumph, though. I have touched it, I have shaken hands with it, and I am looking at it all over this room here right now. These are the happy endings that we must see as women and girls. We can make it to the end alive, physically or emotionally, and we will, and we do, and we thrive.
Oh, you're recording that
even
shit.
when it doesn't feel possible, even when we are in sharp pain. Never underestimate a woman's ability to endure pain. Never. Life's just a bowl of chances. So thank you to every woman who shared her life to me and my 4 children. And thank you to every man, including my sweet husband, who are kind and good when no one is watching. And to all the communities across the gender, age, political, geographical, and racial spectrum who fight every day just to be safe. I see you, and I share tonight.
Dragging this woman from whatever country club she was at to come to this gala just to use her as a prop and grab her hand and hold her hand while you talked about her struggle makes not one damn sense to me, Blake. Why did you even leave your house today? Who said, yes, it's a good idea. Let's go out. Let's go out. Let's go to the gala. And, I know, bring your mom. And whether or not this happened to Blake's mom, I don't know. But that's the problem. When you lie so much, we just don't know ever when you're telling the truth or when you're fibbing. Because right now, Blake, I don't know if somebody actually tried to unalive your mother. I don't know if you're making it up. And honestly, girl, I don't care to find out what's what. You lie so much. I could go down today believing you stood there and lied about this. Because Blake, if somebody tried to unalive your mother, why do we have you sitting in multiple interviews talking about how you have no real life things to pull to connect to Lily, so you connect to her through clothing? You said on multiple occasions you have no way, no real life way to connect to Lily Bloom as a character, to connect to that DV aspect of things. So you use clothing to get into character, and she's an amalgamation, and two things can be true at the same time. And she can be soft, and she can be hard, and she can have empathy, but she can be stubborn. Not one single time throughout your press tour, your press, whatever, your advertisement, your campaign for It Ends With Us, did we ever hear about this cockamamie story about your mom almost being unalived by a work acquaintance before you were born? You think if you go all the way back there, then we can dig stuff up to find out if it ever happened? Where is the police report, Blake? Where is it at? You see, now you do stuff so badly. You create these problems for yourself. You give me the opportunity to ask these questions. Had you been a decent human being and told the truth every now and again, this is a story anybody can get with. But now I need proof. You see how messed up it is that I gotta ask you for proof of your mom's unalivement because you're a liar? And then, oh, you want to give a shout out to your husband and men like him who do the right thing when nobody's watching? Your husband is an alleged arsonist. Twerk on that. Check that first. Your husband sat at Time magazine and said he literally tries on personalities like shirts. He just steals from people. And he's the person you're quoting as a support system. I beg your finest pardon. I beg your finest pardon. That is the man you're quoting? Get it together, Blake. Get it together. You could have just said, like, somebody trying to unalive your mom was a crime against humanity, but you said a crime against women to lay the foundation that you're talking about SH or SA or graping when you were not. You think I don't know if you think you're smarter than the rest of us or you truly just are not bright, so you don't know what's coming out of your mouth. But at this point, it's lazy. Do better. Let's not forget, guys, this is a woman who held space for her alcohol brand, for her seltzer brand, for her hair care brand, for her outfits. She held space for her floral jeans and her earrings and her shoes. But you could not hold any kind of space for your mom's trauma throughout your entire press tour. Where was your mother on the red carpet for It Ends With Us? Where was your mother at the premiere to lift her up? Are you kidding me? Your mother went through this and you couldn't draw on that to deliver a heck of a performance? I see why you and Colleen get along so well. Because Colleen lied about the book. Now you're lying about the supposed unalivement attempt your mother went through. It's Delulu, but like it's also sick. It's both. It's a sick kind of Delulu. It's a 5150 kind of Delulu. Like, we need to check you in. You want to see another nut job? Listen to this one. This is the CEO of Time magazine when asked about why Blake Lively is in a magazine, and her answer, quite literally, I don't know if she knows what she said, but it could either be making fun of Blake or just disputes her entire claim. Because listen to what the CEO of Time magazine says.
To know about Blake more about her being on the list. What is it? What makes her so special? And how did
I think she's having a great year, and our role is to be the humanities guide to trusted journalism. And so we're the storytellers. We've been telling stories for 100 years, and we're excited to tell her story.
And who are you most looking forward to seeing tonight?
Snoop Dogg, our host, Ed Sheeran, Miles.
So the CEO of Time Magazine thinks Blake is having a great year. She literally says, I think she's having a great year. So Blake, you're doing fine. According to the CEO of Time, just listen to her once more. I just want to make sure you all heard her because
Know about Blake more about her being on the list. What is it? What makes her so special? And how did
I think she's having a great year, and our role is to be the humanities guide to trusted journalism. And so we're the storytellers. We've been telling stories for 100 years, and we're excited to tell her story.
And who are you most looking forward to seeing tonight?
Snoop Dogg, our host.
trusted journalism is absolutely nuts to say in this climate at this time when talking about anything involving Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, in this case in general. Saying trusted journalism anywhere around the story is pure jokes. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs jokes. That's going to be it, kids. If you went to bed early last night or you just had other responsibilities so you didn't get a chance to see Blake and Ryan in their element of influencing, they stepped out. And they stepped out to tell us Blake Lively's mother was almost unalived and she's a survivor. And Blake wanted to share her story, even though the reason she's on the list is for having money to give to the Black people. Yeah. She loves the NAACP, but her speech was about survivors. I mean, talk about an amalgamation of a person. I don't know who decided to put a microphone in her hand. I don't know who did it. Saw this on Instagram a while ago, and I thought it perfectly describes everybody around Blake Lively that's allowing her to make these choices. Just take a listen.
So idiot compassion is what, if you surround yourself with people who are only going to validate your experience. Like, for example, let's say that someone says to her friends, like, I don't understand why he broke up with me, or I don't understand, why this keeps happening to me. And your friend's like, no, you go, girl, he's wrong, you're right, whatever. Or my partner's doing this. And we tend to kind of feel like our job as a friend is to support the position of our friends. That's idiot compassion. Wise compassion is what you get in therapy, where we say, like, what might be going on here? It's kind of like if a fight breaks out in every bar you're going to, maybe it's you. We don't say that to our friends in idiot compassion. Think about that. So you're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to hear what you need to hear. The friends you want to surround yourself with are people who will tell you the truth in a kind, respectful way, and that you're willing to hear it. So some people think that it would be drama if their friends kind of called them on their bullshit, right? That's not drama. So that's a healthy, communicative, open, honest relationship.
So pretty much Ryan and Blake at home with everybody around them going, yes, exactly, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes perfect sense to me. That's been it for right now. I will be back to you guys. I'm getting back on a regular schedule now, and I'll see you again. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your continued support. Have a good one. Bye-bye.